So you can see that on YouTube?
No, I'm looking at the helium encoder. So whenever you start the meeting in YouTube, I should be able to see it there.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's just the delay. So now I see it in
Yeah.
YouTube. So we're good.
Yeah, usually delays like 30 seconds to a minute, depends. Yeah, it started on YouTube too. Okay.
So just as an FYI, we are verbally live right now. So go ahead and stay muted until we start the meeting. So just as an FYI, we are verbally. Hi, Judy. We're just staying muted because you can we can be heard on YouTube right now. So we'll get started shortly. Thank you. Hi, Jeff. We're just staying muted because we are live in sound on YouTube before the meeting starts. So we'll get started shortly. We're just waiting for Noelle. I resent her the link. Hi, Noelle. We're just staying muted until the meeting starts because you can hear us on YouTube already.
Great, thank you.
And Cindy, we can get going right at 5 if you're ready.
Yes, everybody's here. We're all set to go. Okay, we have a minute to go.
Where's Jim?
Oh, he's not here. He's
not
in,
here tonight.
Yeah. Great. Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Sam, you want to go ahead and do the roll call?
Yeah, so just as a reminder, because we are back virtual, they will do anything we vote on tonight. I'll have to make you do that roll call vote thing. So just as I do roll, just let us know that you have a copy of the agenda or you have it there on your device and you can hear us and you can speak. So I will start with Commissioner Lay.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner McKee can't. Can we hear you? Sorry.
Of course. Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Commissioner Meredith,
Present.
Commissioner Scher,
Here.
Vice Chair, excuse me, I got distracted. Vice Chair McDonald is absent tonight, and Chair Caption.
Here.
Okay, I'm gonna pause for just 1 second. I have to restart the video because it's funky, I'm being told. So give me just one. Okay, that looks better. Go ahead.
Okay, next we have the Pledge of Allegiance. So I can't find my little flag, so we'll just have to pretend. So here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next is adoption of the agenda. So do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move to adopt the agenda.
Thanks, Jeff. A
I
second?
second it.
Thank you. Okay, so all in favor, do we do a roll call vote?
Yes, I have to do a roll call vote.
Okay.
Commissioner Resnick,
Here. I'm sorry, I'm having some audio problems. I'll be connected in a second.
okay, I'll come back around to you. Commissioner Lay,
What, approve?
we're
Was that-
adopting the agenda, yes.
Ah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Meredith,
Yes.
Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
Commissioner McKee Camp,
Yes.
and Commissioner or Chair Caption.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. And how about, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? And I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our meeting from June 6th. Or if anybody has any comments or questions or additions.
I
move to
approve.
I second it with one correction.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the correction?
On the next to the last line, there's a misspelled the.
On which part? I'm sorry.
It's near the very end. Let me pull them up. I thought I had them here in front of me. Let me text it to you.
Okay. I can open it too and just catch it really quick at
Yeah.
the very end, you said.
It's near the very, very end, like two or the second or third line from the bottom, the final comments.
You know if what the word was?
The T, and it's TEH instead of TH.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a typo. Yeah. We don't.
We'll make that.
Okay. Okay. Great. So it's been moved and seconded that with that addition that we approved the minutes from June 6th. So let's go ahead and have a vote.
Okay. Commissioner Resnick, you would be abstained because you weren't there. Commissioner Lay,
Approve.
Commissioner Meredith,
Approve.
Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
Commissioner McKee Camp,
Approved.
and Chair Caption.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. So Sam, is there any public comment?
Nope, we have not received any.
Okay. Great. Then we'll move on to administrative items. Update on the part-time specialist to support the arts events and marketing.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, those items are not populating on my screen. I just wanted to let you know, as of July 1st, obviously the budget goes into effect. That was approved by council. So we just rolled out yesterday the recruitment for that part-time position. We're sharing it on social media, the town website. It's also on indeed.com. So I look forward to hopefully a good applicant pool, and I'll keep you updated on that.
Right.
So in the meantime, Sam, everything always goes through you anyway. But
yeah, in the meantime, just balancing everything with Danielle. So just keep sending everything to me if you have marketing requests or things like that.
Yeah. What kind of time frame does that involve, Sam? I mean,
so it really just depends on the applicant pool. So if we get a great, pool in the next, 2 weeks, we can usually have interviews pretty quickly and then onboard someone pretty quickly. So I think tentatively I had scheduled the last week of the month for kind of a first round of interviews. So we'll see if we, who we get, if we get some good candidates.
And Sam, it's part-time, I know. So is it like a specific part of the week, or?
No, it's really a flexible schedule. So it's, we market it as 15 to 20 hours a week because our part-time is 960 hours a year. So it doesn't really make it 20 hours a week for 52 weeks. But so yeah, it's really a flexible schedule outside of, required attendance at this meeting and then, events and things that we plan. So, but otherwise very flexible.
Just a quick question, and I don't need a lot of explanation. I read the minutes from the meeting that I was not attending. It sounds to me like Danielle is no longer with us.
Oh, no, she's with us. So when we added this part-time position, we went ahead and divided duties in the department. And so she's going to be taking on more, or really all of our Parks and Recreation department marketing. And then this position will be arts specific. So,
but she's no longer with us in terms of marketing. We shouldn't continue to send her any marketing requests or any of
you can just send them through me. I mean,
okay.
She's still supporting me in the meantime because obviously we don't have someone on board. But if you send them to me instead of her, then it helps me kind of figure out her, where it fits in her workload.
Great, thank you.
We'll get it all done. Yeah, she's not going anywhere. She's still supporting.
Yes, I know that was a bad choice of words on my part. I just meant it for our marketing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Perfect.
Good. Okay, great. And next, the Yountville Days Parade entry for Yountville Arts, question mark. Who? Yeah,
so I mean, Yountville Days is Saturday, October 1st. And I know, I think Judy had brought this up as well, but, we're always welcoming everybody to have an entry in the parade, whether that's, you just ride in a vehicle or you do something. So I don't know if Judy, you had some ideas or just wanted to gauge interest.
Sure, I want to gauge interest. And I talked to Cindy about this. I know Cindy and I have always been kind of interested in doing something like this, but we do have I have a work truck that we could definitely use. If you guys are interested, I think it would be fun. I think it would be great, to get some enthusiasm and so that people know what it is exactly that goes on, that, the art commission is the one responsible for putting all the art together, and we can just see about enthusiasm and then go from there. I think Robin has some ideas as well.
Yeah, I definitely, sorry, I had put this in an email a while back and it wasn't picked up on, but I had been on a commission years ago in Sonoma, which we participated on a float, but it kind of all depends also on the theme and whether or not we as a commission feel like we have something that aligns with the theme that would make it suitable.
What did you do in
yet? So,
okay. Robin, what was the theme? What did you do in Sonoma? What was the?
Well,
do you remember?
It was a media float where we had an artist that was spinning pottery, and she had a wheel out, and one that had an easel that was painting. And of course, I was the one with the microphone. There was a guitarist and making music. So it had different stations on the float that represented the different kind of arts.
Very cool. Very creative.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to head that up, I mean, I think it's a fun idea. We did it years ago, Sam, right? For, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. We were not theme specific. I mean, we are what we are. So when you were talking, I was thinking we have the banners from past gallery shows and events that we've done. I don't know if Sam keeps them all, but I know I have a couple of them. And, you know, we could use those to reinforce everything that we've been doing. But I think it would be fun if everybody would join in. But making up a float probably isn't on my agenda. I'll participate, but I think it's great if Judy, you know, can organize us all and get us there. I think it's great.
Cynthia, could we put that on the what's the name of our council? Robin, the one that you're heading up the entertainment?
Oh, performing arts.
Performing arts. Do you want to?
I think performing arts is getting too busy.
Yeah.
But I would definitely need your help on this, Robin.
You've got it. Sam, is it premature to ask for a tip on what the theme is to see if we can create it?
I'm hoping to have it by the end of the month. So I have a lot of ideas, but I think I might just do like a public poll kind of thing. So it's not that easy to pick a theme. It sounds like it, but it's not. Has it been done before? Is it relevant?
Oh.
All those things.
Well,
Yeah.
what about, it takes a village to make a contribution, something around contributions, because we certainly all make our contributions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you'll let us know.
Okay. It's
So
October.
October 1st. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that we would have to start thinking about it. So if anybody's interested, I guess, Cynthia, you have to put it into a committee, and then whoever's interested, I guess they can just talk to me, and then I'll talk to Robin and we'll flush it out.
Okay.
Does that sound
We
good?
could also, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Robin, if you're going to have another performing, you know, we got so much community participation in the performing arts committee before for the you know, this is I don't know, there's a chance to also use those advisors to see if people want to help. I don't know. I mean, I've never done a float before. I'm not, you know, I'm not really very crafty in that sense. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit 50-50 on it. But like, you know, I'll be there, you know, and I can certainly you know, come to some meetings, and it's I don't know. I mean, what would I've just never really thought about, you know, putting stuff, including myself, on a truck.
Oh, but you're so good at throwing candy.
Yes, see, I would love to throw candy.
And you don't have to be on the truck. You could walk next to the truck. So.
And blowing
Oh,
bubbles.
there you go.
You could blow bubbles.
It can be as
Bubbles.
complicated or as simple as you want. Like, I don't think it doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Well, my enthusiasm meter is now, you know, at 80%.
80%.
Play an instrument. Cynthia, do you play an instrument? If you played an instrument, that would be fabulous.
I think if you keep it simple, then you'll get everybody engaged.
We'll keep it simple. Just
just maybe put like frames around our faces or something like that.
I see something like that sounds great, right?
Yeah. That's cute.
Something.
And we can build frames up on the truck or something, so we can think of something simple.
Well,
throw crayons at people.
Going with our logo, we already have the frame, right?
Oh yeah,
that's a great idea, Cindy. And so Judy and I can flush it out a little bit and then present it. But if you've never been in a parade, you've got to say the energy alone once you start coming into town, it's contagious. So it's a very natural thing to do once you start smiling and getting into the energy.
And, maybe we can do something other than candy, like hand out crayons or something. So I think there's a lot that we could do that could be fun. So that gets energy going.
I think we did that and the kids really wanted candy.
Candy.
We had little palettes. We had these little paint palettes one year, I think. They were teeny little, yeah.
What is Cindy doing? Time's up.
This is this is my enthusiasm meter.
Oh.
That's very creative. I need that.
Yeah. There we go.
Of it. Okay.
It's actually, yes. It's one of the many marital aids. That's all I'll say.
Well, I need one of those, but it would be for something other. It would be like negativity versus happiness, right?
Yeah.
So we'll continue this conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Judy. Thanks. That's good. Yeah, my enthusiasm. Next is the Art Fund report, financial reports from ending May 2022.
Yeah, so I'll just, there's been no change to the Town of Yountville Community Foundation. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just sharing, again, this is the end of May. So I just got the end of June, but we're still working on some year-end cleanup. So I don't want to bring you June yet until it's pretty final. So this just shows you a significant amount of the revenue from Art Sip and Stroll has come in by the end of May, but not all of it.
So where is that, Sam? Is that under donations or program?
Right here by this blue line. So that's our actual revenue. Yeah, at the end of May. So we're over budget as far as we exceeded our adopted budget there. And then expenses, we were right in line at 56,000 at the end of May. So we have had some more expenses post after Art Sip and Stroll, not significant, but still well within our approved budget. So at the end of our closeout, I'll be next month. I think what I'm going to do is bring the year end to you with that conversation of, do we take, so this is our art sale revenue down here. And so this shows the art sales for the year and then the expenses, so what we paid out. And Cindy had a good question, and I'll cover that now. She said, well, why isn't it 20%? Because that's what we keep. A significant part of this 78,000 in revenue was the final check from Guy Buffet posted in this fiscal year. And so they just paid us our 20%. We didn't conduct those sales. So that's why that doesn't look quite right, but it is correct in that a significant amount of our revenue was that Guy Buffet final show sales. And then we do have, and we also have revenue in there for the yellow sphere sculpture. And some of that has been paid out, and some of it, no, we actually paid all of that first payment out. So we still have that second half of that sculpture pending.
Which one, Sam?
The yellow sphere that was being constructed. We haven't collected the second half of that yet.
Oh, right.
Or paid it out, so it's a wash. But so when I come back next month, we'll have that conversation of, do we want to consider starting to put the excess revenue from art sales into the Art Walk Fund to sustain that even farther, since we've seen that slowdown in the commercial building permits. So I'll have some historical data, and I'll project as much as I can, and then we'll be able to have that conversation next month. Because right now we have about $61,000 that in past years we would move into the Town of Yountville Community Foundation. So it's really it's a conversation and an action we can take a look at next month, which is, do we move it into the foundation where we have a lot of flexibility? We could always move it from the foundation to sustain the art fund, or do we just move it to the art fund where it has to be used for the art walk, or do we do some of each? So it's just a policy discussion that we'll have next month. But just
nice problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam, back up to Art Sip and Stroll. The difference is to the positive, right?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Down here, where
No,
so
12,329. Is that positive?
yeah, so we made, as the end of this report, we made more than we had budgeted to make.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Revenue is up.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
Our
great.
expenses were also up slightly, but it's still totally on par. So I think we'll have we'll be pleasantly surprised at the end of year. So
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then down here is our restricted art fee fund. That's the one where we'll have the policy discussion. So as of the end of May, sorry, I'm just moving my arrow. The end of May, we have transferred over $6,300, a little over $6,300. So that was moved from the deposits into the revenue. This year, I also just finished that year end with that fund, so a little bit more moved. And then our expenses were up, and that was really just due to placing more sculptures because we sold more sculptures. So, so our estimated fund balance as of the end of May was just over 38,000. So again, next month will be kind of the key report because it'll show our whole fiscal year end. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sam. Next, so I don't see any questions. Nobody. Okay. I'm so used to hearing people. Next is the Art Walk Subcommittee report. Is there anything?
So we
say,
are.
Rhonda?
We're just in search, continual search for art sculptures. I'm hoping that the upcoming trip to Loveland will produce some results for us that can happen, you know, maybe within a couple months after. So I'm looking forward to that. And Cindy's been great about turning up leads and what do we think of this and that. And we have somewhere Adam is going to come forth if he wants to work with us, a local artist in St. Helena that we're talking to. So we're working. We don't have anything to bring forward at this meeting. I do have one question. There was a mustard celebration meeting. Our program came up. The reason I mention it during the art walk is they're looking for dates. And we had talked about the hearts, the Find Your Heart in Hearts in Yountville, and when and how we would do the art drop, you know, where we scatter the arts around the art walk sculptures. Are you all following me?
Mm-hmm.
And they thought, and I have to, you know, agree, that it would be nice to do that on Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day weekend, whenever that all falls. So I'm asking if you have any opinion about that. Is that okay with you? We'll figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it later. But I can turn in something to the Mustard Festival for their overall calendar.
Is the event starting in February? Will it be active in February? Does it have dates or parameters?
Well, the Mustard Celebration dates are roughly the end of January through the end of April.
Great.
And so people who want to do activities during that time period can be on the overall calendar, which we will be.
So Valentine's Day is on Monday. So
maybe,
that weekend would be great.
Yeah, the weekend
on a Tuesday?
Okay.
I think it's on a Tuesday, Sam.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong calendar, 2022. Yeah, Tuesday. But still that weekend.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday, maybe.
What do you guys think? You tell me.
So that would be in the middle of our Hearts exhibit, right? So because we're yeah, the gallery.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
So, which do you like, Saturday or Sunday?
I think you'll get a lot of action on Saturday. So let me walk myself through it though, because are they,
Yeah.
they're picking something up and then returning it to the community center, or no, they just keep the art? Okay, perfect. So it doesn't matter.
What would our involvement be? Just helping spread the hearts?
That's it. Nothing for you to do. Hearts are done. I just haven't picked them up. Nothing to do, really.
Could we do it both days? Spread some Saturday, spread some Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, we only have 100. I mean, we certainly could, but 100 hearts isn't going to go very far. We could certainly limit it to from Vandeleur Park to Love Wine, you know, just that group of sculptures, if you want, but I don't know. I'm up for anything. Saturday and Sunday are fine with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 100, it'll be interesting to see what happens with all this. You know, I mean, will some people try to get 10, right? And then you're like, well, you know, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what really, you know, I can see people with kids go, oh, this is great. We'll take 30 of them. And then,
yeah, that's kind of the nice thing about putting them out over the course of time, you know, a few a day for a few, you know, however long, just so that happen. Because I know with the turkey hunt and the hunts that we've done that's, you know, that's real. That's why for the first year we're like, you can only win once. You'd often get a family, you know, with 5 kids or something that, you know, comes to hunt. So
yeah. So that's why I like Jeff's idea of spreading it out. But the other thing is, and so when people, my concern has always been how to connect people to the art walk to, and you know, like, you know, I've said this before about a QR code or something on it that says, this is from a gift to you from the, you know, Yountville Arts Commission or something to so that people don't just think, oh, that's cool, I found somebody's, you know, somebody's stone and I'll take it. So
we can work that. I'm happy to figure out all that.
Okay.
Getting the word out, how we get the word out in the Yountville Sun, probably, you know, when we really kick into the details.
Okay.
And if you like Saturday and Sunday, the only thing I'll say about that weekend, is that the 3-day weekend? No. Okay.
I don't think so.
So that's the 11th and 12th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we could divide, taking Jeffrey's idea a step further, where we have a few people spreading them in the morning and a few later in the evening. So we hit as many people as possible each day. And a banner at the entrance of town, welcome to a town with a heart.
We only have 100 hearts now, you guys. So, which you know, we can still order more, but we, you know, right now we only have 100 hearts. So think about that. 100 M&Ms, 100 peanuts, you know, 100 hearts.
Well, how many art pieces do you think there are between Vandeleur Park and Love Wine? Because 25 hearts kind of scattered around, if we're limiting that section, it makes it a better discovery.
I'm for the 2 days. I'm also, personally, I think in the dark of night, early in the morning, is the best time to scatter them. Because if you're out in broad daylight in the evening scattering, I don't think they'll, I don't think they'll last very long.
Of course, 5 o'clock is not broad daylight in February, so.
Yeah. So I think we could say that we have a, you know, a kickoff date, and then if we plan it, you know, continue the conversation where, you know, draw it out longer, get more hearts, whatever it is, we can still tell them we're kicking it off that weekend.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wanda,
Good.
quick question. How much are the hearts?
Well, she made them the first 100 for 25 cents a piece.
Wow.
I know. And the second 100 she'll do for 50 cents a piece. And either beyond that, she will lose interest, or we'll have to probably up the game. But
I think we should just get 200.
it might not be a bad idea.
Explanation.
She's signing and numbering them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
Really
Awesome.
And we have one big yellow heart that we will tie that into a prize or something. But most of them are the small hearts, like I had at the last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So are you telling me to order another 100?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have consensus there. And to answer your question, Robin, there are approximately 27 sculptures in that area.
But we could do some great things with that big heart, Rhonda. Like, if you found a little one, post it on social media, be entered into a drawing. Like, we could do some really fun things that can help, like what Cindy was talking about. Like, how do we tie it back to Yountville art? And we can do creative things online and then with signage out there too. I mean, little signs that I can laminate. It doesn't have to be elaborate, helping people understand what we're doing. So
yes.
I'm really excited about this project.
Great. Fun.
Yeah. That's great. Okay. I think, is there anything else on the Art Walk subcommittee, Rhonda? Okay, great. Next is the gallery subcommittee and the and you'll see on your agenda. And so I'm filling in for Jim to give the report. NickCon is ending on the 16th. One sale currently. Jose Martinez is opening, and you can see the dates for the classes there. And then, Rhonda, you are still up because you want to say a little something about what's happening between October 6th and 12/2.
Yes, we have secured Jessel. Sorry, Jessel.
I know I do that.
Forgive me. We've secured Jessup. Noelle will get into more details during the marketing part of the meeting or her report. But as far as the gallery goes, I've sent images to Cindy and Jim this afternoon on the artist that Cynthia Carey, who's the curator, has selected. We'll keep moving into actual selection of pieces, but at least we now have artists. She's on vacation. She's filled out the gallery agreement. She'll send a photo of that to me and I'll send that on. So we have that, and then we'll follow up with paper. We just wanted to make sure, especially me, wanted the committee to be comfortable that this is going forward for that time frame. So we're excited. Noelle, what did we call it? It's not blending, the art of blending. So it's the blending of wine, blending of art, kind of a play on words. So they're going to do some graphic work for us a little bit just to kind of frame the look of the event. And then it's all good. It's all moving forward.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And from what I've seen, and hopefully, we'll present the photographs maybe at the next meeting. It looks really, really cool. So then we have the youth art exhibit, which we'll end the year with. And then, we have something I'll talk about, Isabel Maynard's gallery show. This is a proposal on, so Isabel is a French artist who spends half of her time in Napa. So she has she lives here in Napa for 6 months out of the year and lives in Toulouse. She's an exceptionally talented person. Rhonda and Jim had a chance to meet her via Zoom meeting, and she is really really amazing. She's she's an art school graduate, does abstract expressionist, is very influenced by the women of the United States in abstract expressionism, and got what she describes as the opportunity of lifetime to study in New York and have showed there. Her main, although she lives in Toulouse and she has French collectors, she has 2 galleries here, one in Marin County and one, or she's represented by gallerists in Marin County and in San Francisco. And did you all get the packet? So her work is, I mean, it's better. What? Oh yeah, great.
Too, if you'd like.
So her work tends to be like really large. She starts out, she was telling us her process. She starts out in graphite. She's very physical in terms of the painting. And this tree, this is part of, I think, the series that she was presenting to us, which she wants to kind of view as a celebration of life, post-pandemic, celebration of hope, and then there's a cloud series that's consistent with Vanishing Point. This was shown in Toulouse in a munitions factory. Again, they're very large pieces, and one of her, she's also represented by some interior, or not represented, she has an agent that, and has a connection to interior designers in the United States that place her work at various places, including a recent show in San Francisco at in a lobby. And I can actually, Sam, if you let me share it, then I will show you some of the pictures so you can get an idea of the size of them. Okay, can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is from a building 450 Fremont. I'm trying to get rid of myself here. That there's actually a woman who does curation of large lobbies in San Francisco. So these are a couple of Isabel's pieces that are in the lobby, and they look really cool there. And there's another painting. This is again from her Vanishing Point series. It should open. Takes a while. It's a TIFF image, so this was picked up, and this is, I don't know, probably 8 feet by 4 feet, something like that. So anyhow, you can get sort of an idea of her work, and she's a very involved artist, I would say. Just like she wants to, she's been to our gallery, she's come to openings. You probably didn't notice her, she's a pretty quiet person, but she is very excited about the opportunity to show here, since she's been in Napa for almost 10 years. And anyhow, we met her via Zoom, and we'll visit her studio. She's coming here for a show in Marin. She's coming in August, and the show is in September. So we'll have a chance to visit her Napa studio at that point. But at this point, we'd like to go ahead and have a vote to accept her as a gallery featured artist for next year, for March 30th through May 5th. So anybody have any questions or discussions or anything?
I'm assuming she has some smaller pieces too, so there'll be a collection of several things in the gallery.
Yeah. That's not super small. And
not super small, but obviously those were so big they would take up a whole wall.
Yeah, like 3 by 4 feet, something like that. And Rhonda asked her, and she's very excited about this. She calls it a happening. Rhonda asked,
I think it's great.
A happening. So we're going to have a happening. Rhonda, do you want to explain what you asked her?
Well, Cindy had a picture, and I didn't see it on what Sam just presented, but there's a picture of Isabel with a big canvas in front of her, and she's in painting clothes, and she's painting. She looks like she's spraying fixative on this big charcoal or whatever the drawing was, but it's very action oriented. So in the conversation with Isabel, I asked her and Cindy and Jim if we couldn't recreate something like that in our gallery. So the wall, where the double doors are to enter our gallery, the wall to your right would be ideal for her to have a large canvas, and she would just come in and paint when she was there. So it would be ongoing during her exhibit and change as she's painting on it and engaging with people along the way. So I think she liked the idea, Cindy, right?
Oh, she loved the idea.
Great.
Yes. And I guess, I don't know if that's French, but she said it's a happening.
It's actually, you should be sure she photographs it every day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Absolutely. So you have a record from beginning to end of her time in the gallery and how it looks.
Right, right. And then
Yeah, we could do a lot with
idea.
that social media wise. Like that could be really, really great.
Yeah.
That is fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
It's almost
So this
too
is
bad.
sort of, on the scale of up to, Guy Buffet setting that bar. She's another French artist. She has a following that's local. People will come from Marin, San Francisco, Southern California, and then and so it's kind of, like a bit of a win-win, I think, for all of us.
So I think it's great, and I would like to move to accept Isabel for presenting in our gallery from March 30th to May 5th, 2023.
And I would like to second.
I would
Thank you.
like to just point out it's too bad that her piece of art and her art will be out right before Art Sip and Stroll. With that kind of activity of somebody actually doing a painting on the wall, seems like that
Kind of
would,
nice though, because it'll lead us into the activity of Art Sip and Stroll, because often we just kind of have something sort of quiet. So kind of nice to have that activity in the gallery.
great
She
reason.
can always stay. I'll give her an outside wall during Art Sip and Stroll. She could stay.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
She could be Art Sip and Stroll. We don't know.
She could paint outside and yeah.
I love that idea.
yeah.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
she's-
We can also show what she's done on another wall or a moving wall we could hang up, especially if we did Polaroids, all the different
Oh.
pictures, or just show what she's done every day while she's there, and then that
Ooh.
she's continuing.
Polaroid.
Oh, Polaroid.
Could we have a live cam like they have for the birds in San Francisco?
To do a live cam. We could take this in many directions. So
Yeah. Well,
that's
that's great.
exciting.
I'm glad that there's enthusiasm for it, and you'll just, she's such a warm person, very easy to, she's kind of like Sam says yes to everything. Yes, sure, yes.
So once again, if we're
Okay.
are we done with questions, then I would move.
Yep, we have a motion, Rhonda, second from Noel. So Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Lay,
Yes.
Commissioner Meredith,
Yes.
Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
Commissioner McKee-Cant,
Yes.
and Chair Caption.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now let's move on to the literary subcommittee. Oh, that's me too. Oh, see,
Partially.
it's Jim. It's Jim.
And then there's
Jim.
the Jeff. Jeff has a proposal in there too.
Oh, and Jeff has a proposal. Okay, so the Sasha Paulson event is coming up this Saturday, Out Loud, September 15th. And then Jeff, you are on with your very well thought out proposal for the audio tour.
Thank you for that introduction. So I have tried to describe both the kind of program statement or intention, as well as the process. I don't think I'll try and go over all of that. I think I'd rather just respond to questions or other kinds of concerns, if anybody has some, of this proposal. Unless you want me to go over it point by point.
Did you, Sam?
Overview.
Are you in on this? So you know how? I mean, it'll all work into what we have already.
Yeah, so
Well-
Cindy has been the kind of the key to that because she's managing the Art Walk audio tour. So I know you two have been in discussion. Right?
Yes.
Yes, and I think it can, and Jeff and we figured out a way that it can work. It will be, pretty easy. Just a matter of taking like one voice, adding it, basically recording like an MP3, another MP3, putting them together, and putting it on the audio tour. So I think that, and then the words, and actually, Jeff, I was thinking when I read this that we could have the poet read it, or the poet or the person that wrote it read it, and then send me, that clip.
Right. I hadn't thought about that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody with a smartphone, we could come up with really simple instructions on how to tell them how to do that. And then as far as, Rhonda assisting Jeff from our perspective with, marketing or collecting the entries back or whatever Jeff needs support wise, we discussed, a bunch of different things. We're happy to support that.
Super. I think it's great, Jeff. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Was there a descriptive paragraph about that in the minutes?
Yeah.
The very last item.
It was an attachment to the staff report. It was in the
Oh, okay. I'll go back and check that out. Is there like a couple of quick lines you can just tell me? Obviously, we're putting poetry in with the audio for the installations.
It actually isn't limited to poetry. Somebody could write a piece of prose that would be the same amount. I don't want to get it too structured in terms of format.
Got it.
So it could be prose or poetry. It's limited to 30 words. We'll have a committee that reviews them and pick the best one appropriate for that sculpture. You can submit up to 3. Up to 3 would be accepted, but we are going to limit it to 3 so that there's some variety in terms of writers. But I was originally going to limit it to 1, and Cynthia pointed out that we have quite a few sculptures, and we may not want to do that. So I like that idea as I thought more about it.
So we may have more than one piece of writing attached to each installation.
No, we'd only have 1 for each installation, but a writer could submit up to 3 and have them at 3 different installations.
Oh, okay.
And then I think Jeff, you had talked about putting together a volunteer group similar to what Robin did for the music to evaluate the poems or the entries and decide, which ones we pick and have get more public involved in that as well.
Yeah, we'd have at least 1 advisor on this and involve the literary committee as well. I haven't talked to Jim or Rhonda about whether they want to participate. But anyway, we can sort that out. But I would like at least 3 people to kind of review them. I have a criteria that I've been working on that the committee would work with. And there was one more thing I was going to say, but I can't remember now. Never mind. Any other questions?
Well, I think we should go ahead and vote. We should vote on this, right? What's it called? Okay, so
integrating poetry and prose into the Yountville Art Walk audio tour.
Okay, I'm going to call it IPP, integrating. So I'll make a motion to approve and go forward with a plan for the integrating prose and poetry into the Yountville Art Walk audio tour.
I'll second it.
You don't have to say that.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
So I'll do the roll call vote. I like the IPP. It's the IPP program.
Right.
IPP by G, right? Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Lay,
Yes.
Commissioner Meredith,
Yes.
Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
oops, and Commissioner McKee-Cant,
Yes.
and Chair Caption.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff. Next, Noelle, you are up with the Marketing and PR Subcommittee. So
All
we're
right,
going to
so-
hear a little bit more about Jessup and
Yeah, we will. We absolutely will. First of all, we did have a scheduled Art Walk fam tour for June 27th with a food and wine writer, Carrie Sweet. Unfortunately, it had to be canceled, but I supplied her with all the Yountville Arts assets, and she was familiar with the Art Walk and had actually taken a tour previously, maybe last year or the year before. So I was assured by Fuller and Sander that it would be included, and she would have it in her arsenal of things to write about. Also, Napa Valley Life reached out to us, which is nice to have them approaching us for the food and wine issue. As a follow-up for Art Sip and Stroll, it would be in the front section, and she asked for a lot of photos. And in addition, I just sent some copy reflecting the overview of the event. And I want to thank you, Robin, because I pulled some of the things that you had written about it for the newsletter since I was not here for that. So we have some great copy and photos coming up in the food and wine issue. And this was a fun fact I found out. The Yountville Welcome Center top referrals in May. They have 20 different referrals, whether it be restaurants, wineries, tasting rooms, other events. And our Art Walk was number 4 out of the 20 for referrals and people having interest in things to do. So apparently we've got quite a buzz going on. I'm really pleased about that. Now for the new gallery shows coming up, Jose Martinez and Sasha Paulson. We've got some really good representation, as always, from the Chamber newsletter. And in the calendar events section of Napa Valley Live, not the front section, but the postings with things, and they take all our artwork. And Robin is continuing to post our events on Nextdoor. And at the end of this report, she's going to share all of her information about Music in the Park and the news of pre-events for Music in the Park. Don and Sally Schmidt, I know that event has occurred, but I have to say we got such good promotion on that. Thank you, Rhonda. You have such strong relationships with the Register and the Sun, and I was amazed every time you open the paper. The Sun had beautiful a full page, and Register had lots of coverage. So that's just continues on. I know, Rhonda, you are saying that Sasha Paulson is promoting her own event, but if the Register was not armed with lots of material from us, primarily from you on all of that, I don't think there would be as much coverage. So thank you for all that you do. I also have been reaching out to some of our different organizations in the Hispanic community, so we might market more directly rather than as part of our general marketing. And I'm going to be connecting with the Napa County Hispanic Network with their president, Jorge Gonzalez. I connected with him today. And also, let's see, the Napa County Chamber of Commerce, Will Marcencia, who you all know, happens to be on the board of directors of marketing for the Hispanic Chamber. And I've been speaking with Sam about it, and we'll see about the possibility, once again, of getting some coverage with our artists to go on Megamix, which is primarily Hispanic. And we'll see what else we can do, not just for these particular events, but just for all of our events overall, so we can just have a broader reach, because we just want to make sure everybody is aware of what we're doing. Also in Marketplace, I just want to say, if you have events coming up, with the Marketplace, it has to be posted before the 5th of the month prior to the event. So we really need early notification. If there's something coming up at the last minute, let me know, so we can try to get it in sooner rather than later. And if it's really last minute, we won't be able to advertise in Marketplace. And let's see, just we continue to get good files from Sam and from Danielle and whoever our new person will be, whether they be JPEGs or PNGs for the events. That's pretty much what everybody wants. So if you are aware of new artwork for your project, please let me know. And I'm pretty much scanning everything on our website just to see what may be posted, and I'm in good conversation with everybody. But if there's anything, please always feel free to send it my way so we can see what we can do with it. And for Jessup, We had a great conversation today. We've decided we'll be calling the show The Art of the Blend, because that's really what Jessup is doing. They're blending the arts. And of course, when you think of wine, you think of blending. So we thought that would be a good title to bring the two together. And we hope to have, actually, I shouldn't say we hope to have, we are going to have all our marketing collateral material, our posters, ready by August 1st, so we can start posting those. And they are going to work on it. We've got Jessup's marketing person on it, and I will connect with them and work with them. We've sent them a lot of our past materials to look at, and they're going to give us some of the materials that they use for their events, and we'll combine those and get some collateral material going. We've decided on 2 marketing events, of course, the opening reception, but they are going to work with us in really promoting this event and creating this event. They'll supply wine, food pairings, and they'll be very actively involved. The second event, which will happen, we're hoping early November. I know, Sam, that Rhonda is connecting with you on particular dates, and that event will be called Blending Passions, where we'll bring in some of their wine educators from Jessup and Handwritten to talk about blending and wine. And then we will also bring in possibly some of the artists that are in the gallery. So we'll be blending those passions of art and wine, and bringing in some food pairings. I know that Handwritten has a great chef called Chef Ken, and he has done wonderful popcorn events. I don't know if you've ever been to the International Short Film Festival here in town, but he does popcorn that is really like entrees on a menu. So that should be a lot of fun if we move forward with that. But if it's not that, it will be something else very unique, because they're very much about food and wine at Jessup, and also art, as you know. So I think that pretty much covers that. And Robin, do you want to talk about some of your events that are going to be coming up for Music in the Park?
Well, sure. During July, since we're in the new month, I was able last night's concert to talk about Jose's art opening, and I also went a little bit into the Sasha Paulson event. It's kind of a rowdy crowd to be trying to make too many announcements, so I try to read it a little bit, but at least I can talk about what's going on at the gallery. So we just had a husband and wife team from Napa play, and of course on July 24th, we have Yountville's husband and wife team, Monica and Chad, playing. And want to thank Cindy and Judy for coming to some of the concerts. I have made introductions. I've said everybody's names at the first one and given credit to our subcommittee. They are definitely well attended, and people have been enjoying them.
Great, Robin. Bravo. Thank you.
Yeah, and Robin, I have to say, yes, people are rowdy, having fun, but they do hear, maybe not if they don't internalize everything. I think it's really important that the buzz out there in the community is about the arts programs, the performing arts, the gallery, the art walk, and whatever you get out there. I think it's really meaningful, because you're creating a conversation, and I think it's worth a lot more than you're giving it credit for. So thank you.
I think it's important, and I think it was very generous of the town to give us the billing on the banners and such, and to say it's brought to you by the Performing Arts Committee. So I think it is eye-opening for people to realize that we're, maybe not just about the art walk and the gallery, that we're trying to bring art and make it accessible for all in the community. And the concerts, just the way they're scheduled, they're all very different, and they're all works of art in and of themselves. So thank you for saying that. And I will say that August 7th, I've got a crooner that's new to town that does, he's bringing some people from LA and San Francisco in, and we're doing the Rat Pack Summit, and I'll be singing some classic music for that show. So if you can make it down to one concert that year, this year, that might be one that you will enjoy.
Very fun.
Robin, you're also very good at filling in last minute. Your singing last night was beautiful.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing, Jeff. The mixer went out because it was so hot, and you know, like your iPhone needs to cool off. So there was a cooling off time, and Robin stepped right up and got the and told everybody what was going on, and then sang, which was wonderful. I mean,
It was
like
the second time it went out. It was just like, okay, he had tubes in that particular mixer, and so the guitar just would not play. So it was kind of an awkward silence, and so I was like, well, I have to have it. Three.
Well, I think Robin is our diva. We've never had one, but when I heard
that year
on the 4th of July and the national anthem, I mean, my husband and I watch a lot of sports, and we hear all these different renditions, and we, you know, I'm for creativity, but it's the national anthem. And here's Robin stepping up to the microphone, and it's like as good as any of those people I've heard. And so you are the diva girl, and we are proud of you.
Thank you very much. It's just that my particular art happens to be louder than everybody else. Thank you, Rhonda. From you, that's high praise.
Oh, now I'm not muted anymore. Okay. So performing art. So Noelle, is that kind of wraps up, right?
Yeah, that kind of wraps up. Yep.
Okay. Performing Arts Subcommittee, the discussion of the Legacy Roundtables concept. You guys, who wants to talk about that? Thank you.
So the Legacy Roundtable, we've talked about this pre-COVID. This is the idea that we get some legacy type people together, and we have tables, and the legacy people move around every 20 minutes. So they discuss the topics, and then they get to you know, meet everybody, so to speak. So Robin and Jeff and I have been getting together, and we actually have really flushed it out quite a bit, and we're ready to go. We'd like to do it. We'd like to do 3 a year, and that would be November, March, and July. And we were thinking about doing, and I'm going to let Jeff go into a little bit more detail about this, but we're going to think about the Napa Valley Legacy Preservation, which would be people that have been in the community for a long time in the winemaking aspect of it, and bring them in. We were thinking about then doing the second series would be the Napa Valley Vineyard Legacy, where we get viticulturists together, and you know, famous ones like I've already gotten some commitments from Bob Steinhauer and Andy Beckstoffer, which would be good. And then the third one would be a Napa Valley Restaurant Legacy. And we kind of attacked Cindy Paulson and got her to commit to it. And we've got some other people like Bob Hurley, but we've been talking about this. And again, Jeff is going to go into it in a minute with some of the other themes that we're considering, because we've really been thinking about it pretty hard. And the only thing that we have changed since when I first proposed this, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, is that we would actually have a little food component, and for the cost, and I don't know, Sam, if we have somebody else, but for cost of like $9, we can get an individual charcuterie plate, so people will be able to eat while they taste the wines from these people, because that's one of the things that we really want to incorporate is these people bring the wines that they are known for, or that, you know, have something to do. So it adds a whole nother dimension to the program to make it a little more fun. And you guys all know how I feel about drinking wine without food. So Jeff, you want to talk about the process that we came through?
So we talked about the people, the guests rotating the tables rather than the people rotating tables, and then asking them, particularly with the legacy preservation people, of bringing 4 to 6 bottles of wine that we could pay for a cost, or they could donate, preferably. and that people could taste the wine that they're doing. I don't know if we'll bring berries from the viticulturists or wine that has been produced from there. I'm thinking more the latter, but and then possibly some restaurant people bringing little bits of some of their food, just as so that there's a physical example of what they're doing, and it's not just conceptual and can enjoy that as well. Then we're also thinking about maybe things not quite as obvious, but people here have been involved in developing the AVAs, and it was not that long ago. And so talking kind of about the history of the AVA development here in Napa Valley, starting with the one of Napa Valley moving to 16 and how that emerges, how that expands, because a couple of them have been just in the last few years. Then talking also about the Ag Preserve, which was one of the first in the country, and talking about that historically and the legacy of that and how that has impacted Napa, both what it is and what it isn't. Talking about brand builders from the wineries and people who are actually building the brands, not just necessarily the owners and the winemakers, but the building of brands. From different wineries. Legendary restaurant staff is another one we have kind of played around with of people, and that was brought out beautifully. And one of the guests that Rhonda had at the Schmidt event, someone who has been around for quite some time and a critical component of what we do in terms of food and wine. Another possible idea are some of the historians that have documented things and working with the Napa Valley Historical Society in doing some kind of legacy roundtable about some of the historians. So those are other ideas that we have, and we've thought about people as Judy mentioned for some of these, but we're also looking for suggestions from others. And there may be some repeat of these legacy preservation or restaurant legacy, because 4 is not very many given the 500 wineries we have in Napa and the many, many restaurants we have. And so, you know, there's that conversation to have as well.
And I think that this really does bring out the whole wine and food aspect, because we don't really talk too much about wine as an art. And I know working with Jessup, we're going to get some of that, you know, starting, but I think this is a really good way to bring that rich history, that rich art of wine into our program as well. So Robin, you want to tell them about the benefit of our program?
Well, as we started banding about names and thinking on the history and the legacy of reaching out to the people that really were here on the ground floor when Napa Valley kind of started gaining popularity in the 60s and 70s, we realized that these principles they're getting older, and the ones that are still alive, we want to capture what they're saying and keep the legacy alive. So for particular of our, especially our first round of events, as we're working with the elders, we thought we should document these and archive them, whether on film, also in picture. We'll be asking people not only to bring wine, but also pictures and mementos and things that they have. And if we could create some kind of film from this, and also possibly not so much a coffee table art book, but a historian type book that does have art, does have legacy pictures. So, and as we're focusing on Yountville, this would be a very specific kind of a book of the history of Napa Valley from this particular region in AVA. That capture
that we could sell, of course.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the big benefit.
I have someone that I worked with on the Schmidt Legacy event that sent me a very long email about the prior history of Yountville. And so I would love, I don't know what to do with him. He knows a lot more than I do. And I was pretty focused on the Schmidts. So I think you might enjoy talking to him, and he might
Absolutely.
be able to help. So Judy, are you leading this? Would I have him get in touch with you, or?
Yeah, and I think that Rhonda, we had some long conversations about this too, and we don't want to be like, we want everybody to be a part of this. So if you know people that you think are legendary and would be good in this conversation, please bring them forward to us and let us talk about it, because we just don't want to say, okay, these are the people we know, so we're going to do this, because I think we have a much richer palette than just the three of us. So
People, in my experience, people want to talk to you about their experiences, and it's fascinating. I have pages of notes just on Sally and Dawn. So when you start getting into the heart of everybody's story, it's really fun. It's very rewarding. And as you saw, the community, I think, really engages with it. So I think it's great. I think it's a great plan. When do you have a projected date on?
No, that's what we wanted to talk to you, everybody, and get buy-in. And we wanted to start in November, because that would give us an opportunity to get through harvest. So initially what we were thinking, and I'll tell you the 4 people we were thinking about for the legacy preservation, is we were thinking about Michael Mandavi, Violet Gergich, David Arthur Long, and then if we can get her, and we don't know, Robin, we kind of talked about this before, Robin Lael, because we thought those were really 4 strong people in our community and around that we could hopefully bring in and really start with a big blockbuster.
So that would be the historical look, or that would be the wine? What would that be?
So that one we're calling the Napa Valley Legacy Preservation. So those are people that have essentially, you know, they've started, their families were starting in the original, you know, big beginning of the Napa Valley in the 60s and 70s. So
for wine?
For wine, yes. Okay. These are all winemakers or
got it.
Family of winemakers. Like Violet, I don't think is the winemaker, but she definitely runs Gergich Hills. And sure. Since they live, you know, since they're part of Yountville, we thought that would be a really interesting.
Well, Mike Gergich would be, I mean,
he
Violet, but imagine what Mike Gergich would bring to the table.
So I did talk with Violet's secretary and secretary assistant, I shouldn't say that. She said they don't let Mike do anything in public anymore. So he's out of it. So, but she said she thought Violet would love to do this. So
great.
Quick question.
And this is not wine. This is hibiscus juice. I'm just waiting.
Is this in the format of moving from table to table?
So the guests would move from table to table. The legends, the actual people that are buying the tickets would stay at the table with their little individual cheese board, and then they would just use their glasses over and over again.
Not to say this isn't a great idea, because it is, but I'm wondering, the legacy of Don and Sally Schmidt was so strong. Have you considered all with the caliber of people that you're bringing in might not warrant a panel and conversations rather than limiting them to little bits from place to place? Just a thought.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this and we've gone back and forth about this. And the idea is that people get to meet the legends. That's why there's small groups with only 8 to 10 people. And, you know, they get to meet each one of these people and they feel much more connected. We could do panels all day long, but then we're the same as, you know, what they're doing for sommeliers and everybody else. So we wanted to think of a real special, get involved, meet the people, feel special, you know. And Jeffrey was concerned because he's like, well, I don't think we have enough tables. And, you know, we probably don't, but that's a good problem to have, right? If people are beating down our doors to come in and do this, we can talk about doing maybe, you know, more tables or a larger format. But I think this is supposed to be intimate. So we should start it small and see how it goes. And, you know, that'd be a great problem to have if we you know, we're selling out right away, right?
And how long do you anticipate each legacy would be at a table?
20 minutes.
Okay, great. So
And
it's
then-
not super speed dating.
No. 20 minutes, because you got to pour the wine, talk about the wine, and then, you know, get your story going. And then 15 minutes for an open mic. And it's not going to be like again, you know, I'm fighting really hard against the panel thing, but it would be an open mic Q&A. So we could walk around with our, you know, and let people ask questions as a group. But
no, your point is well taken about the intimacy of it and really being able to be more one-on-one than just listening and asking a question.
So
I think it's going to be another sold out event. And once people hear that it's sold out, suddenly it becomes even more, you know, popular. Right,
well,
Rhonda?
yeah, you know, but again, I think then if they know that it's like going to the French Laundry, right? You know, you're there, it's a small, you know, it can be a real sought after thing. That's the goal, right? And we can talk about changing it up later, but.
Well, I kind of feel like I would like to see an outline of the decisions that you've made on this.
I'm going to send it to you guys right after the meeting.
Super.
Oh, good.
So do you have a capacity number? You say, you know, start small, which I wholeheartedly agree, but I assume you would be thinking of the Heritage Room.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, you know, however many people I know what the capacity of that room is, but maybe you don't want all of those people, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. So
it depends on how many guests you have, how many legends, right?
Right. So if we had 4, you know, that's, and again, the legends don't want to stay there all night, right? So that's, you know, like a 2-hour commitment. But what do the tables seat? Are they 10 rounds? Yeah. So that sounds really good. 40 people for the first one. And of course, we would be there to pour the wine and to be the handlers, to take the, you know, these legends around to each table and do that kind of thing. So Robin, of course, would control the microphone.
Would be 36 guests, and we talked about having the people move, but if they have wine glasses and food, it would be less commotion and much more clean to have the 4 principals move, and they can say the same story if they want to and have it all ready and crystallized and prepared, or they can be more like Michael Mondavi, who's going to be more spontaneous.
So are you locked into the legacy, or I hear legacy and legends, and I kind of like the legends myself. It sets it away from the Don Schmidt legacy, unless you want that as a continuing theme for events in Yountville.
My only concern about legend is that it sounds so big. And I think there's a Napa Valley legacy or a Yountville legacy that all of these people can be a part of without having to prove that they are legends themselves. So that's my concern about using legends rather than legacy.
And he's the wordsmith.
Jim didn't like it for Sally and Schmidt either, so there's something in that. I didn't like legacy. I mean, I'm sorry, but whatever. I mean, that's up to you guys. So just my thought.
Well, and again, if someone has a different name, you know, we're open, but we thought we beat this one around a lot, and we thought this was a great roundtable, you know, legends of the roundtable type of thing. So.
And if we're archiving the information that we get through a film and through writing, this is a legacy event. We are going to keep this for future generations to be able to look back and see. So we're documenting.
Yeah, fits.
Sure. Okay, is this something we should vote on?
We cannot vote. We can't vote tonight because that's not how it was agendized. So what I would suggest is that instead of emailing something out, Judy, to the commission, because you're going to be voting on it, because this is a new program, that we put it in the July agenda, the formal proposal. And then we should probably discuss internally, your committee or you, Judy, with me is the budget for this, because it wasn't originally budgeted for. So we have to figure that piece out as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
that would be great. All right.
And then in July,
Thank you.
it would be a formal item on your agenda. Or I'm sorry, August would be a formal item. It's already July. I mean, where did the year go? It would be a formal item on your agenda to approve. Yeah.
Sam, I have a process question. Is it possible to simply ask and get feedback about, is there any reason to stop working on this project as a kind of rough idea or rough feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great time for anybody to share a concern, because then you can, address it in your final proposal or stop work. I don't think I haven't heard that, but speak now or forever hold your peace kind of a thing, I guess.
Until August, huh?
But you'll still have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you mean, Jeff, contacting people to be involved, outside people to be involved in this? Or are you talking about us?
I'm talking about the commission.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't sound like any real concerns
No.
about stopping the project.
Does everybody have the excitement meter like Cindy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. We're
I think it's-
good.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's very exclusive, so we're gonna have to think about, how we float it out and
Right.
take signups and stuff. So
Yeah, and then the other thing too is, guys, I have the opportunity to talk to people in the wine industry all day long, every day, and they've got so many great stories. But a lot of them are, getting older. Like, Bob Steinhauer he knows everybody. I mean, he's the one who asked Andy Beckstoffer to get involved, and it's delicate too, right? But the stories are so great. I want to share them with everybody, and I'm not the person to do it. Bob is, and Andy are the people to do that. So
Yeah. It's great. It's great. Thank you. Thanks for, bringing it forward and it's just, it just takes a lot of, anytime you start something new, it just takes a lot of sort of going down all these different paths, and then suddenly, it hopefully will all come together. So next, let's move on to the Art Sip and Stroll update. Is there anything?
I don't really think I have an update. If our subcommittee stays the same, I probably would ask to schedule a meeting maybe next month just to go over a few things. I received some feedback from the chamber about the May date, so I wanted to kind of talk about that with the subcommittee a little bit before we make everything final. So maybe we could get that on the books in August.
So are we all staying on the Art Sip and Stroll committee?
So is Robin, Noel, Rhonda, correct?
Yep.
Do we want to, is everybody okay with that?
So let's see, I have my interview this week. I have to make sure that I'm, nominated to continue.
I think aren't you all getting interviewed this, or sending me your questions? Yeah. So it'll be fine. But
So schedule it, Sam. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Okay, any other staff informational reports from you, Sam?
No, I just did want to say interviews will take place later this week for the three seats. We have the three incumbents obviously have reapplied. So thank you guys so much for your dedication. We do have one other additional applicant. And so those will take place this week, and then the council will approve any changes or your reappointments in August. So their first meeting in August.
Right.
So I'll keep you posted.
Great. So any other commissioner comments or reports?
The only thing I would like to, we kind of skipped over Sasha's book event, and I would just like to send out a reminder to everybody to please come. Sasha does so much to support us, as you all know, and she always has, and she's excited about her new book, and I would like to fill the room and show her the support from us that she gives us all the time. So I hope you all can come on the 16th, 11 to 1, and spread the word.
Yes.
And Robin, would you mind posting it on Nextdoor?
I would be delighted to.
Perfect.
Robin is our official marketing committee Nextdoor poster. And she really does. She posts all the events that are coming
I
up.
believe I created an event on Nextdoor, but sometimes because I'm on a local government account, I'm not sure how you see it. So any bumping of that or just general posts is great.
I think sometimes doing both the event calendar and the general post, but
Yeah,
also
for sure.
for your event, make sure I'm saying exactly what you are. Mirror it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Anything else before we adjourn? Nope. Okay. So I have a motion. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay.
I second it.
I'll second it.
Oh, you can
You
all
beat
in
me.
favor this one. I don't have to roll call it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you
Thank
all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great work.